Alright peeps, so here we are in Logic and let's break down how we create the signature Reese bass of any future garage track. So let's just solo this out and hear it once. So by itself, it sounds not that interesting, but with the song, once you engage the drums, the pianos and the pads and everything else, it's gonna sound amazing. So let's just hear it once. So as you can notice with the whole song, it sounds pretty amazing. So let's break down on how I created the Reese bass with Vital, and it's an amazing plugin, and see what goes behind creating Reese basses. And you can follow along with any VST that you have. So only one oscillator is engaged. It's a saw wave. I've brought it down an octave. The unison is about two voices, detuned ever so slightly about 6%, and that's about it. And now without any filter, let's hear it how it sounds, and it's not gonna sound very pleasant. So not at all a bass, but the magic lies behind filtering. And I'm using a very aggressive analog 24 dB per octave reduction filter. The drive is set to about 40%, just a little bit of resonance, not a lot, and I've brought the cutoff quite a bit. And let's hear it now. So that's how you kind of get that thick, warm Reese bass. And now you can go ahead and experiment and add another oscillator. For this instance, I've used a sine wave, and let's hear how it sounds. So as you can see, it gives more depth to the whole bass sound. So on the envelope generator, I have increased the attack just a tad bit because I wanted to kind of slowly kick in and not have that clicky sound if you have the attack all the way down. Apart from that, no LFO section engaged, and I've increased just a tad bit of glide just to have, once you kind of going from one note to another, I just wanted to kind of glide between the notes. That's about it. That's the basic patch of a Reese bass. And now the post processing begins. So let's look at that one by one. First up is a compressor, and I'm using the stock compressor inside of Logic. The ratio is set to about 5:1. The threshold is about minus 30 dB. Pretty aggressive compressor because I wanted to kind of side chain with the kick, and that is why I've engaged the kick as a side chain for the bass. The makeup gain is 0, the knee is pretty soft, the attack is relatively fast, the release is relatively slow, and apart from that, nothing else is going on. The auto gain is off, the limiter is off, the distortion is off. So let's hear it. So that's the compressor. So it kind of squishes everything in between, and it kind of gives that character for the Reese bass. Next up, we have a channel EQ, and I've cut everything up till about 41 Hertz. I've given a 2.5 dB boost at about 75 Hertz because that's where the body of the Reese bass lies. Also, I've cut around 1 dB at about 200 Hertz just after that 75 Hertz boost because I don't want that harmonic content to kind of come in the mix. And do notice that in my EQ video that I will link it up if you haven't checked that out, you kind of have to make space between the bass and the kick drum. So if I've boosted about 75 Hertz, I will cut at the same frequency in the kick drum, and also boost at about 200 Hertz because we have cut it in the bass so that both of them balance and sit well in the mix. Next, we have a saturation by soft tube, and this is just to give that grittiness, the little bit of drive, not a lot, but a little bit. So let's hear it with and without it. So I use saturation in Reese basses to kind of bring in the harmonic content that we have lost while doing an aggressive filter in the VST. I have a gain plugin, and this is the last plugin in the processing chain. And this is just to mono out the bass, because in a mix, you want the bass and the kick drum to sit in the center. So with and without it, let's see. So it's all over the place. So now it kind of sets in the center, and that is what you want in the mix. And that's about it. That's how I create a Reese bass in Future Garage track. Now, if you want to create a sub bass, just convert this saw wave into a sine and you'll have a very thick sub bass. If you want that growl bass, just open up the filter and you'll have that harmonic content inside, and you'll have that kind of growl. You can go ahead and automate the filter section to open up much more harmonic content in parts and then reduce it back to where you want it to sit in the mix. Okay, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you took something from this. Do note that basses are something which depends upon personal tastes and preference according to the musician and the vibe that you're gunning for. So go ahead and create different kind of basses, experiment with different styles, and try to fix them according to what the mood you want to convey. As always, if you like this video, consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so that you can stay updated. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, cheers.